Yo, we should. I hate to darken the mood.
Do you?
No, let's do it. We prepped for you.
Yeah, no, it's a tough day for me, and for Black America.
And me.
Yeah, anybody who loves Black people. It's a tough day. Early this morning, Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away at the age of 84. It's a tough loss for so many of us. He had been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he'd been ill for a while, so it wasn't a medical surprise, but it still was no less devastating for so many of us. I think it's important for us to really understand who Jesse Jackson was and what he meant to our community, to our country, to the world. You know, sometimes as you age and new leaders come and new people come, it's easy to forget the people whose shoulders we stand on. But Jesse Jackson was different in every way imaginable. He's a child of the civil rights movement. He was a mentee of Martin Luther King. He was a civil rights pioneer himself. He's the founder of Operation Push, Operation Breadbasket. He did so many things for so many people. And I think it's incredibly important that we remember him for who he was. A lot of times, Martin Luther King is somebody who died and was swept into martyrdom like Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and all these other people. But Jesse Jackson had the burden. Jesse Jackson had the burden of living. He had to live, and he had to struggle, and he had to get up, and he had to fall, and he had to do all sorts of things, which is different and harder. And he did it with style and grace and dignity, and he did it for us. And I think we can't forget that. There is no civil rights movement without people like Jesse Jackson. He ran for president twice, in 1984 and 1988. And I think
88, that's Dukakis.
That's Dukakis. And he won 13 states, by the way. We like to act like that was a vanity run or a show run. He got more states than Joe Biden. But that wasn't just a vanity run. He expanded the electorate. He got people registered who weren't voting already. And that didn't just do Jesse Jackson a service. It did Black people a service. He ran in 84 and Dinkins wins in 85. He runs in 88. Douglas Wilder becomes governor of Virginia in 89. He changed how voting worked. He changed how this country worked. And he forced the Democratic Party, as failed as it is and continues to be, he forced it to listen to our needs and to respond to Black people in a way that people don't understand. Jesse Jackson freed hostages. He's the one who met with Arafat. He's the one who freed Hafez al-Assad. He went to Syria. He went to Palestine. He went to these places and brought hostages home. He created jobs. He forced companies in corporate America to listen to us and to act right by us. He organized boycotts that changed the world. Jesse Jackson was different, and he was a cultural icon. I think that's the part that people forget. One of the most important albums, you listen to Aretha Franklin's albums, he's there. You go to one of the most important concerts, Watt Stacks. He's speaking at Watt Stacks, and one of the hip hop samples you always hear is "Brothers and Sisters." That's Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson was at every cultural event. He was opening space for people all across the board. He was on Sesame Street. He was everywhere. And again, he did it for us. He was a global leader. Before we had Black presidents, Jesse Jackson was our president. Before we had people who could represent us in corporate America, Jesse Jackson was our representative. Jesse Jackson was so special, and he was a mentor and a friend and a hero of mine. He's the first person to bring me to Africa. He took me around. He mentored me. He was always a friend. He was always just wonderful to me. But beyond that, I think the thing that I learned most from Jesse Jackson in conclusion is that he never stopped getting up. He grew up in Greenville, South Carolina, and a child of segregation, and he still found books to read. He was played football. They wouldn't let him be quarterback. He still played and fought, and got better. He was somebody who's had to stand on the balcony as Martin Luther King was assassinated. And instead of folding as he could have, he created organizations and movements to help poor people. Jesse Jackson was born with a father who lived next door. His dad, Noah Robinson, had a family next door. He would literally stand in the window and look at his father with his actual family, because his father was married to somebody else, and look and watch them. And around town, they told him that because he didn't know who his father was, and because his father didn't claim him, that he was nobody. And he went to children around the world and said, I am somebody. He was preaching to himself, but he also turned that message and that ministry out to the world and said, whether you're poor, whether you're on welfare, whether you come from this place or that place, you are still somebody. Jesse Jackson is the epitome of the wounded healer. He was hurt and he was harmed, but he never stopped trying to heal the world. And he was not perfect. And there will be people right now, as is their right, because I do it sometimes, who have criticisms of Jesse Jackson. Mm-hmm. But again, he had the burden of living. And as he said in 88 and 84, we're not perfect servants, we're public servants, working against the odds. Mm-hmm. And so as I continue to grow, be patient with me. God's not finished with me yet. Seems now God is finished with Jesse Jackson on this plane. And so we send him gratitude. We send him love. I send love to his family for being our steward, for being our leader, for being the person who helped us when we had no help, who represented us when we had no representation, and who loved us until the day he died. Rest in peace, Rev.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. And thank you.
New Joe Budden.